Alright, hey guys, we are going through pec self-release. I'm using the yoga tune-up ball to do this. And first up, placement-wise, placement is going to be of the ball just inside from the shoulder. So if you roll off the actual ball and the socket joint itself inwards, here, and just below the level of your collarbone. This tends to be the area, you know, where those trigger points tend to crop up, just in here. So hopefully you can see me here. I'm going to get the ball in here, then I'm going to lean in. Make sure you're leaning in so that you can really apply enough pressure. If I'm too upright like this, I won't be able to get enough pressure into the ball. So just slightly incline forward. I'm going to have a search around for those trigger points, which are really just those focal specific kind of hyper irritable points. Really, when you roll over them, you start to feel like they elicit a real increase in kind of discomfort or tenderness as opposed to the rest of the muscle. So you're sort of hunting them down. I can feel I've got a little bit of one here, and then I'm going to do a hold relax. And just in a stationary position, applying enough pressure onto the ball so I reach that kind of acceptable level of discomfort, which for me, and albeit a subjective scale, is kind of 6 out of 10 on that discomfort scale. So 0 being nothing, 10 being extreme discomfort. Doesn't want to really be above that threshold, because remember, a lot of what we're trying to do here is reduce excessive tone in a muscle that's preventing or limiting your stretch and movement tolerance. If you go too far beyond that point, as in if you push so much pressure in that it's really uncomfortable, you'll tend to get an increase in tone rather than decrease. So make sure it's within that threshold. You know, you shouldn't be holding your breath. Nice diaphragmatic breathing, so in through your nose. Exhaling through pursed lips and trying to drag out that exhale. And we're going to probably do that for maybe about 10 breaths, or anywhere from like 30 to 60 seconds, until we start to get a reduction in that discomfort. Not necessarily completely gone, but a reduction. Say if you were 6 out of 10, maybe it's 5 or 4 out of 10. So then we're going to go into a pin and stretch, or active release, which is where we're still pinning down on that same trigger point, that same pinpoint tender spot, and then actively stretching the muscle across it. And there's a few we can do here. First up, there's a pendulum motion, so just straight plane elevation, forward and back, like this. Just working within that, you know, pain-free range of motion if you do have an existing injury. And just make sure when you're doing this though, and this kind of goes through all of them, is that you need to make sure when you're reaching that the shoulder blade is gently tucked back and down, like this, rather than being dumped forward. You know, so make sure you just got that gentle scapular tuck back and down the whole way through. The other one we can do, which is a nice one, is horizontal motion. So opening up the chest this way and then coming across, still all the while keeping that sort of gentle maintained or sustained pressure into the ball as I go. I can go in a diagonal pattern, one of those PNF patterns if you're aware of that, reaching cross body like this. And those are a really good first for you to start off with. Last but not least, we can do combining the sort of stripping technique we did at the start. I'm just rolling up and down the ball, sort of an active roll at the same time as throwing in one of those active motions. So a good one for this is as you're going up and down, you can even go into a kind of press pattern like this, so reaching up overhead as I'm strumming over that trigger point. And that is the pec self-release.